This girl saw her grandmother's doppelganger in the Appalachian Mountains, and this story, Katie said that she sent in this story because she needs advice. She's never told this story out loud to anybody without feeling crazy. So when Katie was 7 years old, she went to her grandmother's house for one of her usual visits to the Appalachian Mountains. Her grandmother lived in a cabin deep in the Appalachian Mountains, far enough that the road turned into gravel and dirt, and there was no cell service, no neighbors, just trees, fog, and a constant sound of insects and wind. Grandmother believed very strongly in the rules of the woods. Never whistle at night, never call your name out into the forest, never open the curtains at night and look outside. She said that the cabin was long and narrow, and two sides of the house were separated by a hallway that felt endless, especially when you were a kid. The hallway had windows along one side, and every single night, without fail, those curtains were drawn tight after dark. That was her biggest rule. But this week, she was the only one there. Her siblings were at camp, and she remembers feeling both uneasy and excited about this. Just about being alone with her. Well, that night was normal, so she eats dinner, she washes the dishes, and her grandmother tucked her into bed and then gave her a kiss on the forehead. And she said she even remembers the smell of lotion and how the floor creaked when her grandmother walked away. So she falls asleep instantly, like that kind of sleep that you don't dream at all. But then suddenly she wakes up in the middle of the night out of nowhere. She was terrified, but she didn't know why. Her eyes were open, but she couldn't move. She couldn't even breathe right. She felt heavy, like something was pressing into the mattress. So she tries to scream. Nothing comes out. She cannot move. Eventually, she is able to jerk herself free, and she literally just gasps for air like she had been underwater. She was so thirsty that her mouth hurt and her tongue was swollen. She said that she needed water so badly that it almost felt like an emergency. So she climbs out of bed, and she does it as quietly as she can because she didn't want to wake up her grandmother. She wasn't sure why she didn't want to wake up her grandmother. She just knew that she shouldn't wake her. Now, she said that when she walked out in the hallway, it felt colder and darker than normal, even though the light was illuminating from a playroom that was on the side. She walks slowly to the kitchen, but when she reaches the doorway at the end of the hall, she stops dead in her tracks. Her grandmother is standing in the kitchen with her back facing her. Her grandmother is completely still. No movement, no sound. She is just standing there in the dark. She said that something felt wrong immediately and that she can't really explain it better than that. But her body felt like it was screaming at her to go back to her room. So she starts to slowly turn around. She's halfway turned around when her grandmother says, "I know you're awake." She said the voice sounded like her grandmother, but also not. It was like every word came from a different recording. It sounded stitched together, wrong, too slow, too flat. Before she can say anything, her grandmother starts to slowly turn around slightly. And then she spoke and said, "Look outside. It's so pretty at night." Her grandmother would never say that. She drilled it into them constantly to never look outside at night. She did not wait for her to turn fully around. She sprinted down the hallway back to her room. As she's running, though, she slips on the floor and then she slams the door shut and locks it. She said that her hands were shaking so badly she could barely turn the lock, and so she just stood there listening. And she hears dong, dong, dong. Footsteps, slow, wandering, like she didn't know where she was going. And then this is where it gets so creepy. She starts to hear what sounds like fabric moving across metal. One curtain opened, then another, until she heard every single curtain open. She said that each sound sounded like it was inside of her head. Her fear peaked so suddenly, it was like her body shut down. She remembers sliding down the door and then sitting on the floor, and then it was like someone injected her with massive amounts of melatonin. She could not keep her eyes open, and she fell asleep right there against the door. When she wakes up, sunlight is coming through the window. It's around 6 a.m. She hears her grandmother's voice on the other side of the door, normal this time, warm, but with a sharp edge underneath it. "Unlock the door, please," she said. So she turns around, she unlocks the door, and immediately her grandmother says, Why were the curtains open so late last night?" She said that her grandmother sounded angry, confused, and scared. The only thing Katie could say was, "Why were you up so late last night? You opened them." Her grandmother then just stares at her for a very long time, and then just walks down the hallway. She heard her come back with a key, and she unlocked something, maybe a cabinet, maybe a drawer, she didn't explain. And she looked her dead in the eyes and said, "You should go home tomorrow because now they are watching you." She went home the next day. She still talks to her grandmother. She loves her, but she will never sleep at that cabin again. Her grandmother comes to her house now, but the past Christmas, though, her family stayed at her grandmother's cabin. This is creepy. She didn't sleep at the cabin. She drove into town to buy last-minute gifts. And everywhere she went, she saw her grandmother's reflection in all of the store windows, standing at the end of aisles, watching from across parking lots. But she knew that her grandmother was back at the house. She never looked directly at any of them. She still follows the rules. She just wants to know, what did she see that night? And why does it feel like something followed her out of those mountains? Woo! That one, I don't know about you guys. That one got me. The way that she was just standing still in the kitchen, like just, can you imagine walking out and seeing your grandmother just in the dark? No. Like I said, so with these type of things, a commonality that I see with stories that I get is that when people experience these type of things, especially in the Appalachian Mountains, they always describe the voice that they hear come out of these things to be like a recording, or like that's always what people say is a recording. So it's so strange to me that there's a commonality. These people don't know each other that send me the stories. Like they don't even know that they're each sending the stories, right? I'm only seeing them. And that is something that I always see. So what do you guys think this was? Do you think that it was, I can't even say any of the words. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments, because she would love to know, because this really scared her. I can tell. I could read it through. When I was reading the email, I can just tell how scared she was. It gave me chills. So drop any thoughts, opinions, and suggestions that you have down in the comments, but please, as always, be respectful. Before I go on to the shout outs, so someone left a comment saying that they don't like scary stories, but they love watching my stories. And that was like the best comment ever. And I can't find your tag or your comment. So if that was you, please drop a comment so that I can give you a shout out, because that made me smile. That was so nice. So thank you so much. And with that being said, I'm now going to do my favorite part, which is the shout out. Sophia Cheb 7, you left such a nice comment. I love that so much. Thank you for leaving that comment. It was so sweet. It was long, and I love long comments. And you said that you're addicted to my stories and that you love them and love the way I tell them. And that's such a huge compliment to me, because I work so hard on these. And so when people say things like that, it just makes me smile. And I just thank you for being so kind. It means a lot to me that you support me, that you watch my videos, that you like them. I'm lucky to have people like you in my corner. So thank you, girl. I love you. And also, you're from Sweden and I am Swedish. So hello. I don't speak it, but my name is Kajsa. So Meadow Rose 1405. Thank you so much. You've been watching me since March, and that means so much to me. You're an OG spooky baby. I love it. I started last December, I think it was. And so you've been watching me almost this whole time, close to it. I appreciate you being so supportive. That is unwavering. Thank you for watching me all the time. Thank you for commenting and telling me that. Thank you for supporting me. I would not have this channel without people like you and your support. So you have no idea how much that means to me. I love hearing that. So I want to let you know how much I appreciate you. I love you, girl. Oh, and obviously, thank you so much to both of you for being spooky babies. And with that being said, my name is Kajsa, and I tell your paranormal experiences on here every single night, and ones that you recommend to me. So if you're into that, hit that follow button, and I just need you to do 3 things for me. And what are those? Keep sending me your scary stories, have a safe night, and what's the third one? Say it with me. Have a spooky night. Love you so much, my spooky babies. I'll see you in the next one. Spooky kisses and haunted hugs.